Hi everyone, happy Wednesday! We're working on big canvas today. I should probably unlock my iPad and turn up the brightness so I can see what I'm doing. And photos, where are photos? Photos? There's photos. My iPad is set in a different layout than my phone is. So things are different and it's hard to find exactly where things are. And it's that way because my iPad is mirrored to my grandmother's. And then everything that's not on her iPad is on like pages 3 and 4 and 5 of my iPad. Ugh, sorry, I gotta move this iPad up a little higher. There we go. So, yeah, it's hard for me sometimes to find apps because it's different. And I need to keep it the same in case she has a question, so I know where it is on hers, like, from the top of my head. Chryselium says, I caught the tail end of last stream, so I didn't see the reference picture, but that's gorgeous. I can't take credit for the reference picture, but it is gorgeous. So, I had put it up here for the tweet I put out. So, I'm gonna get started on this in a few, but I'm gonna talk about what I'm gonna do on it today because there's something I have a problem with. And then we're gonna read some alerts, and then we'll get started, because I have 3 things I wanna work on today, and we'll see how far I get. So the thing that's bothering me, and you may notice this on the camera, is you can see all of the gray of the moon. The moon looks great, super happy with it. I do need to add a little bit more titanium white to brighten up some of those highlights. Who took the picture? Brandon did. So the moon looks great. Everything looks great. It's just the moon is not bright enough, which means it can't get any brighter because it's like pure titanium white paint. So this part around it needs to come down in brightness a little bit. So can't really do that right now, can I? Because I have the clouds and then I drew all these tree branches in. So a little stuck. So I've been thinking for like however long it's been since I painted last about what I need to do to fix this. So my first option, and I'm doing this for sure, is I'm adding some more titanium white to the moon because I was using Golden Open, which stays wet a little bit longer. And when I was using it for the moon last week, it was kind of getting muddied. So there's not any bright titanium white. So we're gonna start by doing that to make sure that we have the brightest possible paint colors we can on the moon where we have our brightest highlights. So that's my first step. And then while it's drying, I'm gonna go ahead and block in all of my tree branches with black to make them silhouetted. And we're gonna do that so I don't accidentally lose any of my chalk drawing that I've drawn. Because I don't wanna lose any of that. I spent a lot of time on it and I like how it looks. So we're gonna do that. And because it's going to be solid carbon black via paint marker, then we can work on fixing the problem. So I assume adding just titanium white to the moon isn't going to be enough. So that's like phase 1. Phase 2 is darkening this around this. And I do know that means I'm gonna have to fix the clouds somehow. And I'm going to do this by means of using a glaze, which is a transparent paint. So we're gonna put a glaze over all the sky after I've done the tree branches so I don't lose them, and it's transparent so we'll still see the black because it's really intense and you can't really cover that up with just a light wash of blue. And then I'll figure out what I have to do to fix the clouds. Which may just be leaving them. Maybe it's adding a little bit more titanium white to the edges of those. And then I'll probably have to go back over the stars, but that's really not that big of a deal to fix that. So that's kind of my steps today that I'm going to take. Like, I like each piece of this painting individually, but I need to fix it because it's not working together right now. And on the original photo, and I was talking to Brandon about this because he came and looked at it, like the camera he used, the moon got totally washed out, which is what happens. You can't really expose for all of that in one photo. And he was like, oh, I forgot there were colors in it. Because there's like red up here and there's like yellows and greens. So like a lot of it has a lot of detail, and we were both kind of lamenting how the moon got so washed out, which is why in the painting I forced it. But now I have to accommodate for that and fix the rest of it. So that's what we're doing today. And eventually we'll get to painting foliage. Working on it. So, we're going to read some alerts, and then we're going to take a few of the steps I talked about, and then we'll go back to painting. We have a 5-month resub from A Good Way Game Leet. Thank you. 4 months from Super Yoshi 7. 10 months from Radio Dread. 10 months also from Tiniest of Kitties. Harumi Kindle. Seb the Original Pleb. Jamie 2286. Thank you all for the 10-month resubs. 9 months from Smart Guy 93. 100 bits from Flenkosis. Thank you. 10-month resub from Lunafray Belmont. 10 months from Epic DXX. 9 months from JF Samela 1. Thank you. Vagabond says, more HDR. Time for a new phone. We have a 6-month resub from D-Tran. 9 months from Miss Jackie Lynn. 7 months from Will Peters. 10 months from Noah, 10 months from the Slickduke, 10 months from Drek, and 10 months from Renee. Everyone's hitting 10 months tonight. It must be like exactly when stuff started. But that's crazy that it's double digits, which means it's almost to a year, which is wild. Super wild. Yeah, I can't believe it's been like almost a year. Alright, so we're going to use Not Golden Open today. And what is up with this tube? It got really crimped back here. We'll fix it by making it more. There we go. I don't want to, when I use the tube wringer to like push all the paint, I don't want to go like super tight on this because the second I open this, it's going to shoot out. So if you're using one of these, don't do that. Just use a little bit. Yeah, see, I did it too much. Because what happens is these paint tube caps, they'll pop and break. And you don't want that because then your paint dries out. All right, I need tiny brush. Oh, they're right here. I just washed, well, I washed last week right after stream all of my paintbrushes, and then I set them all right here. And what else do I need? Paper towel. Today, I decided this room was way too cold, and it's been like in the 20s and 30s here. So I put on like heavy duty slippers that have like a hard sole, like a shoe would, and then I have a heating pad on my lap under my apron so I don't get paint on it. So that's helping, because this room is chilly, being above the garage with the door shut for most of the day. And I was in here earlier with the doors open and the studio lights on trying to get it warmer, because I knew it would be chilly today. MCL Blue says, was there a particular reason you decided to do this painting on stream after all? The reason is that I had a lot of things come up in December and then starting to come up in January that I was like, I really want to work on this, but I don't have any time, so I should just work on it on stream. So that's what I did. Circle Now Squared says, oh god, I wish it were double digits here in Milwaukee. I can't wait to get home to my heating pad. Ooh, I'm sorry. I do know you guys got slammed with a lot. I was talking to my family in Milwaukee, and they were sending photos, and my dad had photos of the street his house is on. They're in Florida right now, but photos of the street, and it just looks like the most beautiful heavy snow on all the trees, and like it sucks because they're all weighted down, which is probably on the power lines, but it was really pretty. We have a 10-month resub also from Hound Flash. Thank you. But yeah, the cold weather, like I know there's some people in Durham who don't have power right now, which is our little neighboring city. And I say little, it's actually quite large because it's Raleigh, Durham. Kind of like Minneapolis, St. Paul. So the brighter titanium white is helping a little bit. It's a lot of like small work because I'm using like one of my smallest paintbrushes. And I'm just like very slowly going over the parts I want to be ultra titanium white. And I had a secret hope that this would be enough and I wouldn't have to go mess with the sky around the moon. But I also knew in my heart that that wasn't going to be enough. It helps a little, but it's just not enough. Circle Now Squirt said, at least the Packers are doing well. Yeah, my family also hasn't stopped talking about that. It's just still not enough. Dang it. I knew that was gonna happen. Well, it's a very pretty moon. And I don't want to lose that, so we're going to fix it. All right. We have a 10-month resub from Penguin Frog. Thank you. Also welcome to Double Digit. Mr. Raichu Dude says, Mal, what do you like in your painting technique / style compared to, say, Bob Ross? I have a lot of detail, and that's something I like about my work. Like, I will sit there and work on something like this for a while. I like working on things with extreme detail. Like, not the whole painting. That would be too stressful and intensive, I think. I am jealous of how fast he can paint, and what he can do by just being like, cool, done. Like, I wish I could do that. I'm a little bit more of a perfectionist, and I'm trying not to be. Something I'm working on. Goldmage says, you painted the moon. That is love. This is love. It is the moon. The dragon has not stolen the moonlight. Erica says, it's interesting that despite the distance between the canvas and the camera, you can see the focus on the moon. That's where I pulled focus today. So with my lens, my focus is like here. So if I line my face up with it parallel to the camera lens, it's in focus. But if I start to lean forward, I'm probably a little blurry because I wanted that in focus for you. And I do need to move my chair a little bit. There we go. All right, so I wrote down a list for myself. I wrote moon, add titanium white, cool, done. Sometimes I just take paint markers and write on my palette what I have to do. That's what I did, so I just crossed it out. Next is branches. And I have a brush marker. How does this brush marker seem? Does it need to be replaced? I don't use this much because I don't like the tip of this. It's very felt and soft, so it gets like fuzzy, and it's not as sharp as I need it to be a lot of the time, which is why I like the plastic tip marker points better, because I can get a sharper line on it, which is what I think I want to do here. But I thought the brush tip might be nice for like swoosh. You know? Mr. Raichu Dude, talking about what I was saying with painting technique, says, interesting, I was wondering because he would always sing the high praises of his technique, but watching you made it clear to me it's obvious that there's alternatives. Yeah, and I mean, there's different ways even from that. Like when I did the fruit painting before this one, like putting down like the ground colors and different brightnesses and using alla prima or painterly techniques versus like perspective and like trying to mathematically make things right. So I think painting especially, it's all about exactly what you feel comfortable doing. And sometimes you have to like try a bunch of different stuff until you land on it and figure out like your style. So, and like when I started painting, I was like, I'm never gonna find a style for me. But I feel like over time it kind of got there. And I think there's like things I could do still that I would maybe more develop that, but I haven't gotten there yet. And I think it's just something in time I may find. So I'm trying not to stress about that. And that's something I tell people, like, they're like, oh, how do I find my style? It's like, well, try a bunch. You'll find it. We have a 10-month resub from Mike Capella. Thank you. And 7 months from Jennifer Jack as well. Thank you. Sub says, will you add stars eventually? There's a few, and they asked if I'd use the toothbrush method. So I put in a few, and we'll see what happens to them when I fix this guy. And I didn't want to put in a bunch of little ones with the toothbrush because when the moon is like full and this bright, you don't see that. So I didn't want to add a bunch of them. Because like in the photo, there's a few you see. So I think having a few is important, but I didn't want to put in a ton. All right, we're gonna try, and I'm gonna fill in all of the chalk first with the marker, and then I'm gonna kind of work my way around so I don't get my arm in wet paint. Wait, let me think about this. Here, nope, that gets my arm in paint. This will get my arm in paint. So I think I need to come down and then around. That way I won't get my hand in all the wet paint. And then I'll go back in and add more because I didn't draw every little branch in with chalk because I have to erase them all. And sometimes I'm finding when I'm using this gray, it will get down into the cracks of the canvas, like the texture here, and it will like be like dirty and it won't come out. So I didn't want to use too much. All right, so let's start with this guy. The other thing I can do is I can put down the stuff in chalk first, and then I can add in the other stuff later. And I'm trying to go towards the tips of these branches and like bring the marker up so I get more of a sharp point like this, where it gets to be a finer, smaller line. All right, I'm working down this way so that I don't get my hand in wet paint. And also later, what I can do is I can take a brush and I can add in some of these lines and make them a bit thicker. Because like the tree trunk of this guy is going to be a lot thicker than I drew it with this. And sometimes I've noticed that the paint marker catches on like the texture of the canvas and it like skips and then it spits a bunch of paint, which is what I just did there and fixed. And later there's going to be a lot of like foliage, so I'm also not super worried about making this part perfect because a lot of it's going to get covered, and I'm not sure exactly, but Stuff will get covered there eventually. Kit says, I just put on 2 extra layers to go walk the dogs. Might have to make hot chocolate on the way back. Around this time last year, I watched Laika, and it was very chilly. There's a little chalk mark that makes a U shape right here, or lowercase n. And I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna paint that in. Alex says, Laika thanks you. I love Laika. But I am happy with how delicate this is looking. Very happy. All right, I need to start here and work my way down so I don't get my arm in it. Oh yeah, I was working out. I'm like, there's a branch right here. What are you? Let's see. Okay. But what are you? You are gone is what you are. What was I thinking? We have a 9-month resub from Brina BX and 7 months from Rising Again. Thank you both. Midi Knight says, I'm late for class, I'm sorry. All we've done is added titanium white and carbon black on these branches. And I'm doing that because I think the moon needs to be the brightest part of the sky besides maybe the highlights on the clouds. And that this part here is too light. So I need to do a glaze of blue. But I don't want to lose the branches I've drawn. So I'm going to paint them first, and then we'll do a glaze, and then we'll fix the clouds if I have to fix the clouds. That's what we're doing. Somewhere I have a large paint marker that I could use to thicken these lines, but I can also just use a regular brush later. All right, so I can't do this because my arm's gonna be in this. So we're gonna just take a short break. I'm gonna get some water. I have it, but I'm gonna sit here and drink it. And then we'll start up here and come around this way. I'm really excited to start tapping in foliage because it's really gonna come together then. And that is exciting. Rising Again says, that's such a giant canvas. It's 20 by 30 inches. So this ruler is what, 18? So that hits right about here. No, it's not 20. It's bigger than that. 18. 24. I was wrong. It's 24 by something. Where's Big Ruler? Big Ruler will tell us for sure. That's the center finding side. Yeah, 24. Stop. 20. 24 by 30. That's what it is. What's the biggest canvas you ever worked on? Ooh. That's somewhere around this house. It's like a 2 by 3 foot. I stretched a canvas that was like a 6 by 8 foot canvas, and I helped stretch it because it took 4 of us to build it and then stretch the canvas and staple it. Yeah, I worked on that, but I didn't paint it. And that was a pain because when you stretch these to get them this tight, you really have to pull. They make like special pliers, like canvas pliers, and they have kind of what look like these teeth. And then you open them and then you set it on the canvas and then you pull to make it very tight. And when you stretch a canvas, you start from the centers of each side and you stretch that first, like in a plus, and then you work out a little bit and then out a little bit and out a little bit, and then you go out even further and out even further. It's kind of like when you tighten lug nuts on a car, you do it in a star pattern. It's kind of similar to how you stretch a canvas. And then when you get down to the edge, you leave like about yay much. And then you like pull that really tight to the corner, do the fancy fold, and then staple it all in the back. And then hopefully it's super tight. And when you're stretching 6 to 8 feet of a canvas, it's really hard and you have to pull really hard. My job was using the staple gun. I was not in charge of pulling. I could not do it. Rising Again says, we stretch canvas at work for large format prints. It is so hard to do. I like to have something manageable for myself to work on. Like, I think this is as large as I could work on here. Like, I don't really have a space for anything bigger. My easel doesn't have a whole lot of space around it. I need carbon black. What are you? Mars. Where's carbon? There it is. On my table. We're gonna make some of these trees a bit thicker, so they're not all tiny, delicate. Phil says, do you stretch your own canvas for a project or buy it already in a wood frame? I buy it pre-stretched because it's a lot. I'd rather just buy it. Because you can buy like stretcher bars and cotton duck and do it yourself. But there's some things you just don't need to deal with. Sometimes it's like, I could buy a watermelon, but then I have to cut it. And like, am I really gonna do that? No, I'll just buy it pre-cut. Or like, I'll do it and I'll eat some, but then I won't because it's a lot of work. So you have to kind of pay that tax sometimes and decide what that is for yourself. All right, so I should look at a photo because I am using a photo. This branch is a bit thicker. So this is what we're gonna do while we're waiting on stuff to dry. Make more paint wet. I'm gonna put this here where I can see it. So like this branch is a bit thicker. I remember doing a project in like first grade with trees in art class. And I remember being like, all right, we're gonna draw one big line, and then like we had to draw like 2 smaller lines off that, and then like 6 even smaller lines. And they were trying to teach us how to draw trees and bring in like tiny little branches. And I remember being very proud of myself in first grade that my tree turned out and looked like an actual tree and not like a lollipop tree. I have a 2-month resub from Raven Shepherd. Thank you. Alex says, if you don't have to stand on a custom-built scaffolding to reach your canvas, are you even an artist? This guy is gonna get a little bit thicker too. And I'm trying to like wiggle my brush a little bit to give it a little variation. And pushing a bit harder to make it wider as I get closer to like the trunk of the tree. It helps a lot when you start to bring in these thicker tree branches. Elfie Goldfish gifted 5 subs. Thank you. Thanks for the gift sub. They went to Chill Days, MCL Blue, Snowfox 102, Rin, and Cassidecia. Thank you. Thanks for the gift sub. Crescelium says, I forgot which painting I first saw it in, but I remember drawing evergreen trees with the fanning out technique because I saw it on MalMakes and I being like, wow, this tree looks so much better than the trees I usually draw. Some things are just like, here's a nice little technique, it's a nice little trick, and I think that's great. It's like, oh look. Good painting trick. Mitty says, my alma mater, we have a printer that can do 5 by 4 foot photo prints. Awesome. I don't think we had anything that big where I went to school. Good morning, Outback. Thanks for joining us. It is 7:40 p.m. here. And we are working on this painting. So some of these down here, I drew in the left and the right side with the paint marker. So now I have to fill it all in. That was kind of a mistake. I should have just left it and then drawn like one side of it. And not all of these, like, I'm not going to continue this up all the way, like this one, because it's just going to get foliage on top of it later. So you're not going to really even see some of this. And 10-month resub from Lunagazer, thank you. Like I said, we're celebrating 10 tonight, because so many people are hitting 10s. I'm trying to let this stuff up here dry because that's where I'm going to be working next. You know what I should probably do is I should probably wrap these on the side of the canvas, because even though it's going to be mostly foliage later, I'm going to regret not doing that, I bet. Renee says, I'm not gonna lie, having a teenager who likes to bake, or it's great having a teenager who likes to bake. Renee and I were just talking about that. And I was jealous of the cookies. Rising says, where's the photo from? Friend of mine took it. If you watch our streams, Brandon took it. Back in like October, because it's all fall colors, he was out and took photos at night. Ruler needs to move. I suppose it doesn't super matter if I get paint on it, but probably shouldn't. So there's going to be a lot of foliage up here, so I'm not super concerned about leaving these kind of unfinished. Because there'll be foliage in the way. Let's make this one a little bigger too. Okay. We're gonna fill in this one too. Alright, you need to move. You need to move. You need to move over here. So I can wrap these. One of the things I don't really like doing, that I definitely am doing for this painting, is when I have an angle like this, wrapping it at the right angle around the edge of the canvas is kind of a pain. Oh no. How am I gonna paint this one? This way, apparently. There we go. That worked. This is the sort of stuff I would cut out when I would do my videos, like the canvas moving extreme, because it's really confusing on a time lapse. In college, we were supposed to paint standing up, but I would get dizzy. The professor did not like that excuse, because it was hard concrete floors, and like I would lock my knees, and I hated it. So, he finally let me have like a stool to sit on, but there wasn't like a great way to keep my palette nearby or my paints or water or anything. So what I did is I would sit crisscross in the chair and balance everything like on my knees. And then I had like a little tray like this for my paints, and I would like, I found like the perfect little square container for water to wash my brushes out. He's like, I'll give you one thing. He's like, you're really good at figuring that sort of thing out. I'm like, yep, stayed within your little rules. And then I was a lot more comfortable painting and being in his class. I really liked him, honestly. He's one of my favorite guys now. He's an amazing artist. I love his work. Once I figured him out, like sometimes you gotta figure out a teacher and then you can jive with them. And I figured out his whole thing was like capital A art, like thinking about aesthetics and what makes something art and poetry. Like, he really liked poetry. So I started sharing some of my favorite poems with him by Robert Service. And then we would just talk a lot about philosophy, like while I worked. Like, he'd do his little round and he'd talk to everyone about what they were doing, but he'd get to me and then we'd talk about like poetry. And then he didn't ever talk about my paintings. So that was great. No, it says, what were you supposed to do with your stuff otherwise? Like, we had like the stools, like we're supposed to hold like our stuff, but I ended up sitting on mine. And then I put the stuff on my lap. That's how I painted. I would just be crafty. We have a 3-month resub from Break All the Pots. Thank you. All right, so this is wet, and like the thicker lines down here are wet. Do I have any paint on the back of my hand? No. Cool. So when I'm tracing these lines, I'm just starting back here and going, and then just like being like left, right, straight, and following wherever they go, and then just filling in the stuff I missed. I don't remember what this line is. Whatever. Also don't remember what this line is. Quite happy with those. Now where's my marker cap on the back of the marker? All right, we got to fill in the thickness on some of these. beautiful and spiderwebby. Kate Cleat says, I'm loving all these wild branches. They look really good. Now I have to let them dry so I can erase the chalk. Okay, let's let that sit for a bit before we try erasing chalk. This is water. We have a 4-month resub from Charlotte Dante. Thank you. I bought these 2 water bottles from Costco as a 2-pack, and they have very different tops. This one has this like this to seal, and then you just open it and it pours. And the other one has like a flip up mouth that you can like, it's a straw. That one has a straw, but they were the same pack. Thank you, Charlotte. We also have a 5-month resub from Desi Destel. Thank you. Fosix says, I think I have the exact one except in silver. They also sell like a 2-pack. One is black and one is green, but I liked the white and the pink. The other one's pink. And the pink one fell off my bike and rolled down the street and is very scratched up. That's fine. Just means I've used it. I think these are looking good though. Not dry yet. I don't have to erase the chalk yet. I can do the glaze around the chalk, on the chalk, because it'll kind of blend in with the glaze. And I'm not super worried about that, because it's just gonna like dissolve. I am worried about filling in the clouds. I'm not happy about that. I have to fix that. Because they'll have to get bigger than they are, and I'll lose some of like this if I have to go back over them. So maybe we'll do some tests while we wait. About how opaque this glaze is or not. You can stay there for now. We'll need to move big canvas. At least a little bit. Like maybe, yeah. All right, what did I use for this? Ultramarine, phthalo, ultramarine. My heart tells me ultramarine. Oh wait, don't I have this already? Opaque or transparent? I do. Where are you? There you are. It's not transparent, but this is easier to make transparent. Via this. Transparent airbrush medium. What I should do is get like a few little dowels that I can use to stir liquid paints when I use them. That would be a good thing to have. A lot of the time I just use the end of a paintbrush. All right, let's do some swatches. All right, so this is this on its own. It's quite opaque. Now we'll add some of this. has a little dried bit of it on top. And I added quite a bit. What's the ratio supposed to be on this? Should have probably looked at that. 5 to 10 parts extender to 1 part color. Oh, that was fine. That wasn't terrible. So this is because this is basically the clear part of this. Like, the clear part of this paint, but just that clear part that I've added into it to make it more clear. There. See how light that is? You're seeing the paper through that. Now what I'm going to do is paint it here. Because this is my sky. That might be too much. I think I need to add more clear. Probably should have started with clear and added paint. Oh, we're making Pokemon references. I don't know. It's like, what's happening? All right, more transparent. It's a little more transparent. Is it enough though? I need some plastic. Sometimes this trick will work and sometimes this trick won't work, so we're gonna try it. Ideally, I'd have a bigger piece of plastic than this, but I don't seem to. I'm painting a little bit of this mix I've just made on a piece of plastic, like so. And I think that's enough transparency to bring it darker around here. And like out here, you can't see it, so I don't need to really go all that far. So I think this is good. Let's wash this brush. Is it a secret what the final painting will be from? No, it's this. This is the final painting. I had it up earlier. I had to move it to put the sketchbook up. And when I was doing the tree branches. It's also what's sitting on my iPad right here that you can't see the face of because it's turned so I don't have a glare. All right, are we still wet? Oh wait, that's still the paint on my hand from earlier. That's a bad test. Who remembers where I put down paint last? This? I think it was this. Yeah, I think so too. So I think it is all dry. Let's recenter this. Sometimes getting rid of the chalk makes a big difference. All right, now we need a large soft brush because we don't want to leave any lines in this. You are quite soft, but I don't want a filbert. You're a bristle. You're a mop. Is a mop what I want? It normally isn't. This is a mop. What I want is a big flat brush. Are you soft? You're new. I don't know if you are. Nope, too stiff. Soft brush. This might work. I have this red line. How do I feel about that? I think good. I can always switch. Brush rating system. It's all about the feel of the brush. Like, I know I did a video on this. Where's a good one? Just pull out some variety of brushes so you can kind of see. This guy. This is a good comparison. This is a good comparison. And then let's grab that mop again. All right, here's a good variety. So sometimes you want a very stiff brush, like this guy. Let's do it over here so you can see because it's dark. Like it's very snappy. Like it has a lot of snap to it. I like using these for like backgrounds. Now I have to find somewhere to put all these. And then what's probably next? This one's probably next. This one's also snappy. And like, sometimes you need a big brush and sometimes a small brush, but this one's also snappy. And then like this one is not as snappy, but this is a bristle. So this one's my favorite one for doing like leaves, this foliage brush. That one, and then this one's really great for that too. They're basically the same. And then like this one is softer. Like it doesn't have the same snap as the other ones. So it's softer. And then this one is just like, it feels like a makeup brush. It's very, very soft. So like this is more for like a watercolor brush, but sometimes you want that with acrylic. So you have to have a variety sometimes. You have to figure out which one it is that you need. Haley says, I did watercolor. There is only soft brush. Correct, there is only soft brush with watercolor. All right, so I have my glaze in this little cup. I can't tip it too much because it's gonna go all over me. And what we're going to do is put just a little bit on this red line And we're gonna very carefully paint around the moon and probably regret not taping it off. See these lines? I didn't want those. And now I have to deal with them. And we're switching to a small brush to fix that little bit. Raven says, I can actually see the moon on camera now. See, that's why I didn't like it before. I had to fix it. And it's kind of helping the clouds stand out too, because I tried not to paint too much on them. Trying to determine if I need to do any more. Let's go back to that little brush. Where did it go? In the water. That helped a lot. I got a little bit of blue on the moon. I did lose some of the stars, but that's fine. I can see where they are. Like there's one right here, and one here. So those just need to be re-tapped in. And I think I need to bring a little bit more white back on the clouds, and then I'll have to repaint the black on top of the clouds, but I think that was definitely the right move. And I have all of this extra glazing liquid that I'm not gonna use. And I never painted this side, so it's gonna go here because it will seal this in. Sometimes I find gesso, especially in the sides of canvas for some reason, doesn't want to like fill in as well as the face. I get a lot of the pinpricks. So we're gonna kind of treat this as a primer layer. How do I wash this brush? Can we look at the picture again? 1 second. Oops, got some water on there. All right, that's mostly clean. This brush was a gift. And I don't want to ruin it because it was a good brush. All right, photo. There's the photo. It's definitely not as smooth as I had originally painted it, but I think it was the right call. So I'm just going to take a little bit more titanium white and fix where I accidentally painted a little bit of blue on this. Because you can see it's not quite round. And I'm trying to stick my hand in it. Snowfox says, thanks for playing Moon on stream. It made me buy the game and I'm enjoying it. Glad you're liking it. It's a lot of fun. It's the exact type of game I like. Does the pic have increased brightness? So the moon is very washed out in the picture because the camera can only capture so much at night. So it's just kind of a bright white blob here. And I wanted to make it look like the actual moon, so I did push that. That is different. All right, now we can fix the clouds. I need a good bristle tap brush, like this one. This is a brush I had from college. Look how broken it is. great for clouds. This also will help bring the clouds in because they will stand out a little bit more on top of this blue. And I will have to redo some of the carbon black. Oh shoot, that was too much. Hi.
Hi.
How goes it?
It's good. I wanted to come see your tree branches in person.
Yeah.
And also, I have a question. When you were playing Persona 5,
Yeah.
you enjoyed certain outfits
Yes.
from Yoshizawa. I'm editing a vlog.
Yes.
And in the vlog, you're like, there's two
Outfits that Yoshizawa wears?
Is this one?
That is one of them.
Okay, hold on. And then the other one you said was a sweater.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure I get it right, because
That polka dot top, though.
Is this it?
Yeah, that's the other outfit. Those are both outfits. Did you look through them and be like, this is the ones my wife likes?
Well, you described them a little bit.
Oh, I did? Okay.
But when I looked through them, I was like, these have big Mallory energy. So I just wanted to, like, double check.
Uh-huh.
Because, like, I know my wife very well.
Uh-huh.
But I just wanted to check.
No, you're right. No, you're very right.
Okay, I'm gonna go. The vlog, I finished editing the vlog and I just had to leave space for the images.
Okay.
So, yeah. Alright. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. We have a 10-month resub from Xenofantasies. Thank you. Fossick says, speaking of Persona 5, a theme park in Ikebukuro had a temporary Persona event/section. Ooh. Yuna says, well, I was lurking, but Yoshizawa's my favorite Persona 5 character. Mine too. All right, did I fix? Oh no. That line got too thick. We'll just do this. This will fix it. I'm just clearing up some of these lines because they're a little messy in my opinion. What was this? Why did I leave this here this thin? We're gonna connect you to this tree. I've decided you live there. There needs to be more, but I'm not ready to sit there and like fix all of them yet. But I did want to do what? Fix the stars. So the other thing about darkening the sky a little bit means that you can see the stars better. That must have been the paintbrush I used for that last week. Some of them didn't tap in round. There, that helped. Jay says, hey, both the Vancouver Canucks, eh? I just went to a Canes game. We lost, but it was a good game. Oh no, I dropped the thing. Gaming fan says, I'm happy the Packers beat the Cowboys, but very salty about my Eagles. You're not the only person I know in that situation. Jade says, my team is killing it. Finally, I've waited a long time for this. Noah, yeah, about the Eagles. Yeah, we lost to the LA Kings on Monday night. But it was a fun game. It was Willie night. They added Justin Williams to the Canes Hall of Fame, Mr. Game 7. So that was fun. And the guys behind us were very upset we were losing on Willie night. They were like, get Willie out there on the ice. Alright, what's next on this painting for me? What do I want to do next? I have a lot more branches I can add in, because I've only done some. I could also tap in foliage. Which would make me feel better. Because then, it fills in a lot of the painting. And I can always add more branches in later where you see foliage. Here's the other thing though. Okay, the glaze I did is dry. And I did some of the tree branches just now. No, I filled in the stars. So I just have to be careful of the stars. All right, let's get some of the extra paint off my hands. My heating pad is no longer warm, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Let's see, what else can we discuss? Yesterday I had a really good dinner. Steven and I went out for date night. And we went to a place and had a cuisine I've never had before, and it was delicious. We went out and we had Ethiopian. And I got it was all vegetarian stuff on my plate. It was like 6 different things. And one thing was like collard greens, one thing had potatoes, there was a lot of lentils. And my favorite thing was the light green dish that, like, because there was like 6 things. It was like the 4th thing, and it was light green. And I asked the lady, I was like, this was all very good. I was like, this one I really liked, what was it? And then she brought me the menu and pointed at it for me. And I'm going to get that next time I go. Vagabond says, how many pepperonis was the spicy one? 5? 4 or 5? I do know they can do spice levels, but they never asked us about that. They just gave us the food we ordered and didn't ask about spice levels. And I think they went with mild. But everything was very delicious. Steven got the, there was a sampler platter that was all like meat products, and we're like, okay, so I'll get the veggie one, you get the meat one, and then we'll try everything. And his was also very good, but I much preferred the green lentil dish that I had in my variety one. We have a 10-month resub from Vivi. Thank you, Vivi. On a pepperoni scale, what is out of your league, Mal? I probably wouldn't order anything willingly like at a 8 or a 9 on the pepperoni scale. Like, I would have suffered through the spicy one that I had, but I had enough other stuff on my plate that I was able to get full without working on the spicy one, so Steven ate it. Recently we went to a Laotian restaurant that was also very good. That one was downtown Raleigh. I was very impressed by that. There's some other stuff I have saved, like in the area that I want to go to. That's stuff I've never had before. Toy Herb says, just got here. How's the painting going? Great. I had to fix this. Like, this part was too light compared to the moon, so we were losing the moon. So I just did a glaze and it got real nice. And then because of that, I had to fix the clouds. And then I had to fix the tree branches. And then I had to fix the stars. But we're finally caught up and fixed on all the things. Do I like bubble tea? Yes, I do. We were just at the mall and they had a bubble tea place. I didn't get any, but I thought about it. All right. I decided I want to do some foliage. Ooh, dark blue. We had 300 bits from Reed who says dark blue. Look at that dark blue. It kind of blends in. Look at that. All right, so what I want to do for drawing in the foliage is I want to give myself an idea of where it sits so I know where to concentrate it and where to not paint. So it's going to be a lot of looking at this picture and also my grid drawing, my grid Photoshop. Gold Midges, painting. We're an hour and a half after the stream starts. We can start to paint. Well, rather we can move on. And like I said, I could do more tree branches because like there's definitely not enough, like the detail ones in this area. But I want to bring in the foliage so I can see where I need to do that because some of it's going to get lost. We had 300 bits from Kita who says milk chocolate. And then we had a 10-month resub from Fred Fredberger. Thank you. Like I said earlier, we're celebrating 10 tonight because so many people are hitting 10 months. Okay. My little Photoshop black and white version is not good enough for this. So, behind this guy, there's a pine, not a palm. There's not really palm trees in Raleigh. Ooh, that's not showing up well. Let's fix that. We'll sharpen this chalk pastel. Oh wait, I have this guy. We also have a 10-month resub from Molad. Thank you. And I was hoping that by darkening the sky, I would see this white chalk pastel on the lighter areas of the sky, but we don't. So we may have to switch to the dark gray again. All right, pine tree. Pine tree sits behind this guy. Actually, it sits more here. And I'm gonna have to switch. Can I see this one too? Yeah, I can see that one. Okay. So, pine tree. This guy here. This guy. Pine tree sit here. And then we get another tree. I think I might be able to switch to the white chalk pastel. here. So there's going to be a lot of like natural variations in how this starts to look. So what I'm trying to do is draw myself areas where it's going to sit, and then like the way I tap in this will naturally make negative space. Are the chalk pastels you use regular ones, or do they make one specifically for drawing and erasing on regular paint canvases? These are just regular chalk pastels. They are not wax pastels like the crayon ones. They're like chalk, and they're just regular ones. This one is Create a Color. I think this one is also because it matches back here. What else do I got? What other brand are you? You are Stabilo. And I think I have one other brand. Oh, you're also Create a Color. Create a Color. You are not. You are Krandarsh. Create a Color. What are you? You're a Conte Crayon, which is chalk. Like if you ever do charcoal drawing and you buy like a white, that's Conte Crayon. So they're just chalk pastels. I just prefer them this way so they get less messy on my hands. Pine tree. This guy, a lot of negative space here. And I'm gonna skip the red one because the red one doesn't get any of the, it's not dark enough to show the black that I'm gonna fill in. Yeah, this is all gonna get covered. Cool. And like, maybe we'll just leave a little bit in here where we can see some sky through. All right, up here, where were we going with this? We're skipping around the red tree, and that's gonna kind of go this way, and we're gonna get a little bit of black in here, and then there, this is going to be black. And we're gonna get a little bit this is a little nerve-wracking. I don't want to accidentally cover something I want to keep. Because, like, this will be filled in with other colors, too. So, like, not all of it is going to be filled in black. We have 10-month resub from, Mew. Hello, thank you. Alright, switching to, no, not you, this one. So this area, I need to make sure I leave I should probably just put like an X or something. I need to leave a lot of open space down here, and I need to try and remember that. No, the X doesn't help me. We'll write black. Or BL, that'll help. Black, 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 and then this is that looks wild. Alright, carbon black. There you are. I need a lot more than I have here already. Are you all ready for the painting to change immensely very quickly? Where did I put that foliage brush, the one that I was like, I really like this brush? There it is. Trying to make sure I don't have any bristles get off of it. I've used this brush for a while, you can tell. And because it's a flat, I'm only using the corner. And we're gonna start... I'm so nervous about this. It's too big. Big canvas, stay still. I could raise my chair. What I need to do is hold it here. I think I need to be less careful with this. I'm being too careful. I'm also out of black paint. Black paint, where'd you go? There you are. Pop that up on the edge so I can get down here. Oh, got it on my hands. Well, there's one side. Let's clean off my hand before I mess something up, and we'll do the other side. All right. I can't put my hand over here. And it's driving me nuts. Because I'm trying to hold the easel a little steady because it's really bouncing. Oh, it has lyrics. Stop bouncing so much. It's making it hard to see what I'm doing. Okay, you can sit there. That'll help too. Up on the ledge, maybe onto my hand. That'll be green later, but I wanted to fill it in a little bit. The last thing I want to do is fill in the edges with this while I have it. Hold there. not get my ponytail in the paint. On the other side, the side you couldn't see me paint, there's a lot more blue because I hadn't run out when I did the background. So imagine it looks like this, but there's some of the blue showing through, kind of like right here. Now I have to do the top of it. And trying not to fall and trip on everything. And I definitely can't see what I'm doing. So this may have to be something I finish later. Yep, can't see it. It needs to dry so I can bring it down and not worry about getting it everywhere. Am I trying to finish the painting today? No. I'm getting to a good stopping point. Here's the thing about using this brush. Actually, let me wash it and I'll explain. But it's looking way better. The foliage really started to bring it together. There's going to be a big red tree right here. This one's red. So that's going to fill in. Oh God, no, don't do that. Oh, this is why. I try not to have dirty hands when I'm touching the canvas. Okay, fix that. What was I saying? There's a lot of color on this. Like, you see the red and there's like yellow and green. So like that's gonna fill in a lot of this here. And only some of it is in silhouette. So I wanted to start to bring some of that in so that I could bring the color on top. But I knew that I needed to get this in first. Because it's the first layer. And I may want to put more down. All right, I got most of the paint off this brush. But this will require a really good deep clean. And let's clean my hands so I don't do that again. All right, let's start by running Patreon Ticker. A big shout out and huge thank you to my Patreon supporters on patreon.com/MalMakes. So if you're interested in the perks that come with it, go ahead and check that out. One of which is Discord at the $10 level. Thomas says, what in the world is this spray bottle? This is a ultra fine mist water sprayer, and you can kind of pump it fast and it keeps spraying. It's great. And eventually it stops. I used to have one like you had to sit there and like squeeze it for every spray. That was not fun. This one works way better. It's a Delta brand. All right, let's talk about this brush for a sec. So when you have bristle brushes like this one, or this one, or this one. And I found that like if I'm doing pine trees with this guy, every time it's dry and I stick it in paint and I do my little pine tree and tap it back and forth, I get lovely little like leaves and stuff going on, like you see right here, where it's like really open. The second I wash this out and try and like go into a second color, and then I can't get these nice little like leaf dots anymore if it's wet at all, because it softens it too much. So I find that with bristle brushes, I'm best to do like a layer like this. I need to wash this really good, but there's still black paint in it. And then let it dry. So like next week when this is dry, I can probably like pick up the green and fill in the green because it'll be dry. And it'll make nice like leaf shapes and not muddy shapes. So that's one of the things I've noticed about using bristle brushes, trying to do leaves. So like I could switch to this one, but I find that this one that I have doesn't give as nice of little leaf dots as the flat paddle one. So it's good that what have we hit? Just over 2 hours? And we're at a great stopping point. Wonderful. All right, what else do I need to let you guys know about? It is Wednesday, so tomorrow we have breakfast stream at 9 a.m. Eastern, so join us for that. And then Friday we have more Tears of the Kingdom on Steven's channel for both of those. And I will be painting next week for sure, maybe more, so make sure you are following and have alerts turned on because I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to paint yet. I do want to continue this painting because I'm really enjoying it. And it's just kind of been fun to like tap a bunch of stuff in. And there's a lot more layers I want to get done, so make sure that you are following and have alerts on for that. Because I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to paint next. Definitely next week for sure. Maybe before then. Maybe twice next week. I'm not really sure yet. It's whenever I really feel like it. Slick Duke says, the painting looks so different from the beginning of stream. It's evolved really nicely. Thank you. I'm really happy I did this because it really helped the moon come back into play. I really need to fill in more foliage because we really only get like a thin strip of sky that comes through here. So like bringing in the other colors of the leaves are really gonna help. Thomas says, big bell, ding ding, y'all. All right. Hey, Steven. Will you come zoom in for me? And there's not a whole lot to zoom in to exactly see, but like we can look closer at the moon. Welcome.
Hello. What?
You able to move it?
Yeah, where?
Like kind of center of the moon, I guess. There we go.
That's a moon.
That is a moon.
You really made some progress.
Uh-huh.
Like, this is a painting. Sorry, I know that sounds dumb, but I think people will relate to what I'm saying. Like, sometimes when Mal's painting, like, you can go away for, like, just a little bit. Like, you might take an hour and go eat dinner, and then you come back and you're like, geez, this kind of happened, didn't it?
Yeah. Right before I did all the foliage, I was like, you guys ready for this to change wildly?
Yeah. It's wild, man. So your photo.
Mm-hmm. This photo?
Yeah, the photo that's based on.
Yeah, you can kind of see the colors better with the zoom in.
Yeah, like that's the thing, right? It's got.
Yeah.
It
has colors.
It's got some color in it.
Like, there's a whole tree here, Steven, that's red, and that's not in yet because that one does not have, like, the same darkness as the other ones because it's more the moonlight shining through it.
Yeah. Cool. This is very cool. I like it.
Cool. All right. What's our raid message tonight, everyone? Big Mallory energy? That's fine. We'll go with that. We're gonna be raiding Jepson.
Oh, the long lost son.
Our long lost son, who may come back to us one day here in Raleigh.
He's been gone so long. But yeah, he is going to be coming back, which is nice.
Can you click for me and do that?
You mean end the stream?
Well, we gotta raid Josh. Oh wait, I can do it from my phone.
Yeah, like I actually can't easily do it. If you could raid, that'd be good, and then I can turn your stream off, but raiding is hard.
All right. No. Oh yeah, I can do it from my phone. Mal every week.
You don't seem to learn any. Also, is this the thing where you start it, but it takes like 3 Earth minutes?
It does take like 3 Earth minutes to actually send it.
Okay, so yeah, probably.
Thomas says we need a widow's walk to miss Josh. Just like pace the widow's walk, waiting for Josh to come home.
I have a vlog.
You have a vlog?
It's. I'm probably give it a second to make sure it's like fully processed, but I think I'll have it out tonight.
Okay.
Probably.
So be on the lookout for a vlog tonight. Is it the Persona one?
Yeah.
It's the one where I talk about playing Persona.
Yeah, it's the Persona review. It's like my whole thing is that I try to have a vlog ready for after breakfast stream.
Yeah.
So if I post that tonight, that does mean I have to have another one ready.
I see.
But I think I can do that. So
okay.
I'm feeling either confident or cocky, one of the two. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can accomplish that.
We'll see.
You're still waiting on your raid.
I
aren't you?
am. It's like a 6th left to go.
Oh, you almost made it. All right. Well,
almost there. All right, everyone. You're going to be telling Josh #BigMalloryEnergy. And I appreciate everyone coming out tonight to hang out while I painted. I'm really happy with how this is going, and I'm really excited to start bringing more color other than blue and black to this, even though these are like my favorite color combo.
they're gone.
Oh, they're gone.
Yeah, you really have to pay attention to what you're doing.
I love it.
I would give you the benefit of the doubt, but you have done this a lot now.
That's fine.
So I'm like,
Everything is fine. Do you know Josh brought his Mr. Saturn with him?
Yeah.
Aw.
Very sweet, wasn't it?
We were just talking about Pal World, which is a Pokemon-like game that gives you, you get guns. It's Pokemon, but with guns.
Finally, an improvement to the stale Pokemon formula.
Add guns.
Firearms.
All right, thanks everyone for being here. Steven, will you be able to hit the button for me?
I can hit the button for you.
Thank you.
And then we will eat a dinner.
We will eat a dinner.
I'm gonna cook some fish.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right, everyone have a good night. Thanks for being here.
Bye, everybody.